1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It is now time for our main event of the evening. Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, I'm so excited. And this just has all the makings of dynamite. Welcome.
Podcast. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Scrap and Roll MMA podcast. I'm your host, Sky.
What's up? It's Damien. I'm back again. Hey.
He's feeling better. He's back. We're super excited to go over the last couple of cards. Since he wasn't on episode 2, we definitely want to make sure that we go over UFC 280 because there was a lot to talk about there that neither one of us has gotten a chance to talk about. So we're excited to go over it. Let's just go ahead and just jump right into it. So Charles Oliveira versus Islam. How did you feel?
I was going for Charles. I thought he was gonna shock the world and put some respect on his name, but I gotta give it to Islam, man. Like, he really is like a little Khabib, honestly, And then it's funny because after the fight is when I started seeing him with photos with Khabib when Khabib was really young and stuff, and they were like training together for so long, and I had that impression, but I didn't really. It wasn't like factualized until I saw like Khabib posting that stuff. I was like, oh man, like this man really is like Khabib's protege and stuff. So, and the way that he did Charles like that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it could have been a bad day in the office for Charles. It really could have, because, I know what he's capable of and what we've seen before, and he's a real veteran,
Yeah. He didn't look quite like himself, but then like it was crazy to see Islam mix it up on the feet and drop Charles. Like
the stand up was there. I wasn't respecting his stand up, but he was there. He was ready for it.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to him for that.
That was exciting to see. I felt bad for Charles, but he'll be back. He'll definitely be back. But I don't know. Islam, like we talked about it on the first podcast, like Islam's going to be a problem.
Yeah, now that he's the champ, now that he's beat Charles in the fashion that he did, I don't really see anybody messing with him for a while. Like, I'm trying to think of like the people that are in the division in the top tier right now, and like none of them can really compare. I mean, you have, the upcoming fight right now, which is between Dustin Poirier and
Chandler.
Yeah. So,
Next week.
But. And Chandler's known as like a wrestler, right? So I don't think he's the type of wrestler that Islam is. So that's the thing, So even if he does beat Dustin, I don't see him beating Islam at all.
At all. I don't see, they saying that the next fight for 155 is going to be Volkanovski in Perth, Australia. And I just don't see where Volk wins at. But I'm going to tell you right now. As a person who doesn't really like Volkanovski, if he gets it done, if he beats Islam,
it's crazy to think about. I'm not even really like seeing it in my head. I can't even visualize it. You know what I mean? Like, he's too small of a guy. Like, he's a big 145er, but going up to 155, I mean, he even looks small in that division. I mean, height-wise. Like, he's thick and stocky.
Yeah.
And he's got some power because he's cutting weight and everything. But I think I feel like he's in that division for a purpose. There's a reason why he's not fighting 155 or 170.
Yeah, and I just don't see...
I don't see him hanging.
I don't see him being able to, like... I think he would have had a chance against Charles, for sure. But Islam... I don't know. That wrestling is different. It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
And that Dagestani wrestling is just crazy. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for that in February. And then, what did you think about Aljamain and Dillashaw?
I feel like that's just unfortunate for Dillashaw. I feel like it's karma, honestly. I feel like karma is coming back and biting him in the ass. Yeah, it's like. You was talking all this shit, like you had your confidence on 10, you accepted that you were a cheater, and you're trying to move on from it, but nah, I feel like the MMA guys have something else in store for you, and it's a downward spiral right now, and I feel like he's on that downward spiral.
That is exactly like when I went to go like to the watch party and watch it, like at the end of it, I was like, that's exactly what happens. This is called rebalance. This is called karma. Like, you've been cheating for years, and that's just according to your teammates. You know what I mean? Like, let's just admit it. He's been cheating for years. He's been getting away with a lot of stuff, and now you got to be squeaky clean. And hey, the body ain't holding up like it's supposed to be holding up. And you thought you was gonna come through and walk through Aljamain, and
yeah, he wild for that. He wild. He's the one that called him out too. So it's like, you gonna call this? He was like, no, what was he saying? He was saying, oh, I'm glad Aljamain called me out because that's an easy dub for me. Like, he was saying, thank you for calling me out. Like, I can't wait to get in there with you. And then look at him, like, looking silliest he's probably looked in his whole career. You know what I mean? Like, that's karma for you. And now I feel like you got more haters now than you did before when you were caught cheating, because you were still talking that shit. And now you're trying to make excuses like, oh, I had a bum shoulder or whatever, which could be true, but I bet you, like, if you were to win that fight and stuff, you probably wouldn't have been talking about it. If it didn't slide out of pocket, you probably wouldn't have been talking about it. Exactly. You know?
And then another thing to note is, like, Aaron Pico is his teammate. 2 weeks before that in Bellator, Aaron Pico's shoulder was popping out. And that's why they had to stop his fight. So, like, what's going on with them? Like, I don't know.
They training too hard.
Training too hard. Like, I seen an interview with TJ, and he was talking about how, like, he like how basically it was a combination of his shoulder had started acting up like way back in April, and then he got real bad MRSA, and then they put him on antibiotics, and antibiotics just wiped him out. And he's like, maybe that's the reason why I kept popping. I'm like, dude, whatever it is you're doing, it's just dirty. It's just dirty.
The antibiotics make you stronger. What you mean? That's just, that's what it's there for. It's there to help you. I can see how your cardio will go to shit from the antibiotics, but that's about it. I feel like, you know. But it's cool. Like I said, like, I don't really like try to talk dirty on any of these fighters or anything, because what they do is really amazing. And, like, you know, you gotta have some serious guts to be going in there against another professional. I don't care who you are. Like Chase Hooper. I know we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to Chase. But I feel like, you know, even the softest, caringest looking guy, you can't take for granted, because if they're trained professional, like, you know what I mean? Like, you already know what it is. Like, they in there to kill you. They in there to put some injury on you, and it doesn't matter. So, you know, all respect to TJ and Aljamain, you know, just for going in there and doing what they got to do. Because, I see people get knocked out in glorious fashion all the time, and it's like, you know, we put so much hype on the person that knocked him out, and I'm like, damn, like, dude got knocked out cold like that. Like, respect for even, like, stepping in there against such a trained guy, because I already know in his head during camp week and stuff, like, he's thinking about it, and he already knows what he's up against, you know? That's how I felt about this next fight that we're talking about, Sean O'Malley and Petr Yan. Like, I was like, dude, I can only imagine what Sean's mind is like right now. Like, holy shit, I'm about to fight Petr Yan, #1 in the world, ex-champion, like, like that.
Hey, Sean O'Malley got a chin.
Oh yeah, he did. He proved that wholeheartedly. Can't nobody say shit about him now.
He got hit clean like 3-4 times.
Hard.
Yes.
Hard.
I was like, okay. I
respect it. I respect it. It's hard, man, because I try not to stay. I try to stay unbiased as possible. And I was really rooting for Sean. You know, I really wanted him to win, because I wanted him to, you know, show that through all the adversity and stuff, you can still get it done. It doesn't matter the other person's resume. In the end, it's still a fight, and anything could happen, right? So I see where Petr Yan's game plan was at, which was, you know, try to strike with him. If he ends up outstriking me because he's a longer, rangier guy, and he probably knows how to use his range really well. Probably one of the best that I've seen in the division be able to use his range in that fashion. You know, Petr Yan started to clinch and started to wrestle, which he was having some success with, right? And people were giving him a lot of credit on that, and I give credit on that too. But at the same time, I feel like people aren't really recognizing the takedown defense, because, you know, Sean O'Malley he stopped some of those. Yeah, he got taken down. But guess what? Nothing really happened to him, right? He didn't take elbows to the face. He wasn't leaking. He wasn't bleeding. He wasn't swollen up. He got back to his feet and then went to the range and started doing his game plan, right? And then he got taken down again, And it was a repetitive process where it was like, okay, yeah, you got me, but I'm gonna get back up, you know. And then it got to one point where Sean really hurt Piotr and forced him to start shooting.
Yeah,
they weren't strategically play shots anymore. It was like, oh man, let me try to get a hold of this dude. Yeah, exactly. And I really respect Piotr Jan. I love Sean O'Malley. I had to rewatch the fight again. I saw it maybe 1.5 times, I want to say, because I saw them fight live, and then I watched some of the highlights, like the replays of like strike for strike, right? And I was, it's so hard to call. It's so hard to call because I'm not a judge, you know. So it's hard to say like what they're basing things off of, because you can watch some fight cards and you'll see a lot of strikers are getting the decisions over the people that were grappling or who had the control. Even if you had the ring control, my back was against the octagon the whole time and I lit you up, I won the fight. You know, and that's pretty much like sets the tone for the whole rest of the event, I feel like. And I feel like this event, I don't know. I personally still give it to Sean, even though I know a lot of people are saying that Piotr won that fight. Even when the judges were calling the fight, I was like, damn, I feel like Piotr won. Yeah. You know, simply off of the takedowns and stuff. But that's me saying that a takedown, even without control time, even without damage output, is still above everything else that Sean was doing.
Right.
But I'm also taking a look at the defense, what Sean did.
Right.
And I have to give him more points for that. I feel like you have to. Like, yeah, I got taken down a lot. Well, guess what? I got back up to my feet, and I hurt that man. Yeah. You know, and so he took me down again. Well, so what? I got back up. Because it's a fight. Yeah. It would be like, oh, okay, I'm going to give it to Piotr Jan because Sean O'Malley ran out of time type of deal. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But I feel like if the fight was to keep going, Sean O'Malley probably would have won that fight, dude, honestly. Yeah. Because I feel like Piotr Jan would have started slowing down from all the takedown attempts, from all the trying to grapple, all the trying to clinch, you know, and he was leaking. And he opened up that nasty cut on that third round. He was leaking. Nobody did that to Piotr. Nobody. Yeah. And the fact that Sean O'Malley looked fine after the fight. Yeah. He had some scrapes, maybe some lumps, but he was fine. You know, he was chilling. Yeah. Went to the after fight. You know, if you're showing up to the post fight conference, like, you chilling.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like before the cards were read, I thought it was going to be Jan, but I thought it was a close fight. That first round, once again, came back down to that first round. It was really close. I would have given it to Jan, but I wasn't upset that they gave it to Sean. First, I wanted Sean to win, and two, it was a close fight. And even if you look at like just the fight metrics for that fight, like, it was, everything was close. You know, it was real close. And they both got good shots on each other. Yeah, I think one thing that I really seen in there in the second round, or maybe it might have been the third round, when Sean hurt Peter Yan, he kind of played. Like, there's a moment in there, I'm going to have to go back and find it, but he kind of was like playing around, and I was like, yo, this is Peter Yan.
Yeah,
like,
he started trying to taunt. I remember seeing that. He did like quick little one, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I was like, stop playing. Like, because this man ain't done until he's done. Like, the Terminator's not dead until he's dead. You know, so that's one thing that I definitely want to see, like, Sean stop doing. Like, yeah, it's cool, but at the same time, like, at this level, one mistake is all it takes to, you know, end 100%. Up having to fight back to get to that position, you know, to be able to fight again. It's like I was talking about the other day, like, you got to really think about the fact that, like, getting to the top 15, like, first of all, getting signed, being a mixed martial artist, getting signed to the UFC, and then getting inside of the top 15, how hard that is. Like, it's not just, I'm a mixed martial artist and now I'm in the top 15, and then getting in the top 5, and then just competing for the championship. Like, this isn't like every single fighter isn't going to get this opportunity. You know what I mean? And you got to take advantage of those situations where you get on that really long run and you have the opportunity to be able to fight for the championship, or, you know, be like with the elite up at the top, because it's not going to happen for everybody, which brings me on to Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush is on a 8-9 fight win streak in the lightweight division.
Going off. My man been going off.
But
Hey, in that last fight,
yeah.
Oh my God, that was such a beautiful display of mixed martial arts. Like that's mixed martial arts to its finest. That man right there is a mixed martial artist. That man is so balanced everywhere, and he proved that night. The scrambling that he was doing was like, it was textbook. You know what I mean?
And then
like,
to hit Gamrot with that shot in the third and send him down. That's still the deal.
Mean, this man is just super well rounded. It doesn't matter where he's at. He's a problem, you know, and that's why I respect him, especially because he wasn't getting like this man's been fighting for a long time.
Yeah,
he hasn't been getting his respect. Like, sure, he has a couple of losses. He has a few losses here and there, but it's like those losses are learning opportunities where he's actually grown for those. Yeah. And you can see it. You can see it now in his displays because Gamrot is not an easy task. That's not somebody that you just walk through. You know what I mean? Like that man was coming up just as much as Dariush was coming up. It was like, you know, this was a good fight. And man, I just have to say, like, out of all that fight, all I can remember is Beneil because he was just on his P's and Q's that night.
He really
and it was so. Like, I feel like he should have been exhausted from that fight, and he looked fine.
He did. He really did. His conditioning was really good. Yeah, but, like, all that to say, like, don't take... I know that he's going to end up taking another fight, but don't take another fight, dude. Like, they're trying to get him to fight Charles in Brazil in January. And it's like, dude... Hey, I'm not telling you to wait, but man, think about Tony Ferguson, who never got to unify his championship.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That was probably like one of the saddest moments that we've witnessed, right?
And he was on a 12-fight win streak.
He never got to fight. He never got to get the title shot, and then just went downhill from there. And it's like he was at his peak, like at the perfect timing to go for the title. He was at his fucking peak. Yes. You know, and then it went downhill because they started feeding him to the sharks, you know, these young and hungry motherfuckers were like, you already at the top, you've been at the top. Oh,
Justin
man.
Gaethje killed him. He ain't been the same.
He changed his career.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Tony was on a 12-fight win streak. He had won the interim championship. Then they stripped it from him because he had failed and blew out his knees. But that boy was back in 6 months, which was crazy and insane.
I remember that fight. Yeah,
but they stripped him, so he never got to unify that initial interim belt that he won off of Kevin Lee. And then then they were supposed to fight, and then COVID comes along, and everything got messed up with that. And then so that's why he had to fight Gaethje. So it's like something as spectacular as that. Like, you would hate for Beneil to go and fight Charles, and then if Charles beats him, then what? Then you gotta start climbing back up that hill, man.
No, it sucks.
No,
but that's how it is, and that's how Sean O'Malley's about to be. He's up there now with the sharks, you know. Yeah. So it's like, hey, you proved yourself against Piotr, you know, but you know, Piotr is a specialist, and you're gonna fight other people who are a different type of specialist. Like I couldn't see Sean O'Malley versus Brian Ortega. Oh, Brian Ortega will have a fucking field show with O'Malley. Yeah. They're in the same weight class, right?
No, Sean's 135 and Ortega's 145.
That's right. Yeah. So we're talking like TJ Dillashaw, like Cody Garbrandt. Yeah.
Well, you know, the whole thing now is like whether or not Aljamain Sterling's going to fight Henry Cejudo or if he's going to fight Sean O'Malley. If I'm Aljamain, who's not getting over with the fans for whatever reason, I'm fighting Sean O'Malley. First, because that is a favorable fight for you. You take that man down, you know that you can ride that man, you know? But him fighting Cejudo, that's another one of them. I don't see his path to victory because I think that Cejudo's wrestling is better.
Okay, so let me tell you this, though. I feel like Cejudo, if he is a bigger challenge and a bigger name. So if he beats Cejudo, I don't think anybody could question him.
That is true.
I don't think anybody could come for Aljo anymore. You know, because I still have that skepticism about Aljo, and I don't know what it is. Like, and like, you know, no disrespect to any of y'all fighters or anything, but I be rooting for my people, you know. So I want Aljo to shine. You know, and when I saw his Piotr Jan that first fight, when he was talking about, like I won the title and everything, but it was off that illegal knee, it was like. I mean, bro, you was getting worked the whole fight. the whole fight. Like, you wasn't looking like you was gonna win that fight.
Yeah.
And it looked like, you know, to the majority of the people, it looked like you took the easy way out and took that gold, as you should have, right? Because like I said, like, it takes a lot of balls and heart to get into that octagon against a professional person trying to kill you. You know, so I respect Aljo, and I be trying to root for this man, but like he really hasn't impressed me the way like, let's say
when
Islam.
he took Sandhagen back and choked him out in 45 seconds in round 1. Like, that's the Aljo I'm waiting to see again. Like, where is that Aljo?
But I haven't been seeing that. I've been seeing like grappling and control time. That's what I've been seeing. And yeah, even though he like stopped TJ Dillashaw, I mean, the injury, it was a thing. Like, it did happen. And you could say you caused it, which, the fight with you caused his injury to happen, I'm sure, but if it was a pre-existing injury, and I'm not even listening to what TJ's saying because that man, he just be talking. But it seems like, based off of the information that we were fed, that it was a pre-existing condition and that he told the referee and stuff, like, keep the fight going if it happens to happen, because it has been happening, you know, so... like, I'm still not impressed with Aljo, even after everything, you know. So if he ends up taking a fight with Henry Cejudo comes out of retirement and fights this man, and Aljo defeats him, bruh, ain't no talking going on anymore. Like,
ain't no
this
talking.
My guy. I'm putting my money on this man over here.
It's kind of like, you know, the same path that Kamaru Usman had to take, because we did not know who Kamaru was, and then all of a sudden he dominated Tyron Woodley for 5 rounds. I was like,
he dominated Dos Anjos, and I was like, no way. I was like, oh, Dos Anjos got this easily. And the way that man was drowning out there, I was like, oh my goodness.
Like, who is this guy?
I like Usman. He came out to some like African music too. I forgot what it was. Soko Soko. I remember I downloaded the song after that. I was like, okay, this man got the real vibes.
And then, you know, my dark horse, Bilal Muhammad. You know, when we was talking about this fight,
I was going for him.
Yeah, we was going for Bilal. I feel like we was the only people going for Bilal. Everybody was saying Sean Brady was going to walk through him, was going to wash him. He went out there like, hey, put some respect on my name. This is another man, 9-fight win streak in the 170 division. Like, it's unfortunate that, like, and I like Hamzat. I'm on the Hamzat train, but at the same time, like, damn, Bilal needs his shot too. Like,
he does.
Y'all gonna make him fight another fucking killer? Y'all made him fight Wonder Boy, Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, and then what? And then who? Like, fuck.
There's only one. The only path for him is up. Does it say he's unranked? That can't be right.
No, this is old. He should be ranked number.
I was gonna say that can't be right.
He should be ranked number 3 or 4.
He's on that Dariush tip. You know, he's ranked an
number 4.
Experienced veteran. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. He's a veteran. People haven't been respecting him based off of whatever reason. Yeah. Maybe he's not the most exciting fighter, but hey, this man goes out there and gets the job done, and that's what you got to do. I'm not trying to fight no 15 minutes with some killer named Sean Brady. I'm gonna try to get the job done as fast as I can, get up out of there. Hey, Bilal was taking some shots. Like, Sean Brady was dishing some heat. I was like, I was looking kind of worried for my boy out there, but. You know, I have faith that he was going to take the W, and look what happened, bro. He got
it done.
Sheesh, that man is also a well-rounded fighter. Like, I'm respecting that. Like,
well-rounded.
I feel like nowadays, like, when UFC started, you saw a lot of specialists, right? There was a specialist. Oh, watch out for this man striking. This man's a karate, taekwondo expert. Or, oh, watch out for Hoist Gracie because this man has the jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? He's not a striker. You know what he's going to do. Damian Maia, you know what he's going to do. He's going to go out there and strangle you. You got to survive from getting strangled somehow, some way. And nowadays, you're seeing people like Bilal. You're seeing people like Dariush, where it's like they're so well-rounded. Like, even Aspinall. Aspinall is a killer.
Yeah.
You know, and people weren't, I feel like people were like, oh, Calvin Kattar, because he has the name, and Aspinall is like on the up and up. He's a new guy, like on
Oh, you talking about Arnold Allen?
I mean Allen, yeah. Who was I saying? Arnold?
You were saying Aspinall. He's the light heavyweight from London.
Oh,
they were on the same card.
Yeah, I be getting everybody.
Yeah, let's jump on that card too.
Yeah, because that was a good one, and I feel like we gotta start at the bottom. Let's start at the bottom because I was looking forward to the Chase Hooper fight because
let's talk about Chase.
Oh man, I like Chase Hooper, and I was like, I be going for him because he's such like a soft looking guy. Like I feel like he's a good poster boy for mixed martial arts simply because of his stature and the way he looks, right? Mm-hmm. But the guy is a killer, right? So it's like you can't judge a book by its cover type of ordeal, and that's why I really rock with Chase Hooper. But I also knew that Chase probably wouldn't be able to hang against a guy like Garcia because Garcia was looking a little thick out there. You know what I'm saying? And my boy was sharp as a blade.
That boxing was crispy.
Oh, it was so crispy. And the way, I got to give Chase props, though, because he was taking some heavy shots and was still in there. Like he wasn't.
Got knocked 4 times.
It looked like he wasn't trying to quit, but it looked like it hurt him.
Yeah.
Like you could tell like this man was hurt and he was wearing the damage, shots. But you know, it didn't look like he was looking for an easy way out. He was like, nah, let's get it. You know, so I gotta respect that shit, man. But my boy took a beating, man. Yeah. And I feel bad. All props to Garcia because he went out there and got the job done.
He did.
And in the way that he probably imagined, too. I can imagine that he's been visualizing this. Mm-hmm. And he made it look easy. He made it look like Chase Hooper. Who is that?
Yeah, he really did. And the crazy thing is like, I remember, like, when I was on O'Day's podcast, I was talking about how when we seen Chase Hooper fight Alex Caceres, you know, like the dude with the afro.
Karate body.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bruce Leroy. That's what I call
Bruce
him.
Leroy. He was piecing him up. Like, it was to the point to where, like, it was uncomfortable to watch somebody just, like, Steve Garcia was hitting him with power shots. That's how he got him out of there. But Caceres was just like overwhelming him with volume and just bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, just a little binks.
Yes, it was nasty. I was like, and I should have known better, but I wanted Chase to win. He didn't get it done. I really hope, like, he has taken good amounts of time, like, off since he gotten signed, because he is so small, like, in order to, like, to grow into his frame and everything. Yeah. And I really hope that, like, the next stint that he takes off, like, he really works on his striking and his striking defense, because that was tough.
Because you in the top game right now. Like, you gotta be on your P's and Q's. Like, you gotta be on your P's and Q's. You can't be no specialist. I feel like in this division, you gotta be well rounded because you're gonna be going up against TJ Dillashaw and whatnot. You know.
So this is 145. So he's gonna be going up against Max Holloway, Korean Zombie, Brian Ortega.
I'm getting all my. Those divisions are like the same to me. Like it's so funny because I know that both of those divisions could probably fight at the same weight if they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like they're so close in weight and frame. Like their height and reach. I feel like they're so close together that they could all fight together.
Yeah. Yeah, and then.
But damn, poor Chase, man. I didn't see the Arlovsky fight. I wanted to see that one.
It was quick.
It was?
It was quick. De Lima got him out of there. He got him out of there.
That's a scary looking man. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if you ever seen I don't know if you ever seen that Key and Peele skit where they were talking about MMA fighters and he. Do you watch Key and Peele? Mm-mm. Like, have you seen the show? Oh, it's like a sketch comedy show. Okay, yeah, it's a sketch comedy show. And they did this one on mixed martial arts, right, where they're doing, like, the pregame before the fight happens, where they're sitting in the back room talking, like, how they're going to defeat their opponent or whatever. And Keegan Michael Key's the ball-headed one. He kind of looked like De Lima in that one. And he had tears rolling down his face and stuff. He was like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to choke this man unconscious and stuff. And then it would go back to Jordan Peele. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to smash him, man. He's like, hold on. he knows we just talking, right? Because the dude was looking so crazy the way he was talking, like, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna take his soul, I'm gonna eat his children, type of stuff. It was hilarious, and it reminds me of Delima because like he's got an intimidating look, like
he does.
I don't know what it is, and I know Andre Arlovski, like that's another veteran in the game. Like we still got some vets, although like our Cowboy Cerrones and them are gone. We still got some vets in the UFC who are not even thinking about quitting yet. You know what I mean? And they still hanging too. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, Andre came into this on a 4-fight win streak.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, he's a vet.
Yeah, he's been in the game since like has to be at least 2007. Like been
that's what I'm
years.
saying. Before I even knew like what the UFC was, this man was still fighting.
Exactly. And then Phil Hawes, did you see this highlight?
Yeah, I saw that. Yep,
I felt bad for Phil.
Hey, it happens though. Like,
hey, it happens.
That's the type of sport that you in. And go ahead.
The last fight Phil Hawes had, he was putting it on Deron Wynn. Did you see that? Deron Wins like this.
I'm pretty sure I saw it, but I don't. It's not like a memorable moment for me.
Oh
but I'm
man,
sure
you
I
had to
saw
go
it.
back and watch that. It was just nothing but violence. Like he was just putting it on him to the point, like it was a standing stoppage. Like the ref was just like, all right.
I think I remember. Was his hair red because of all the blood? Because I feel like he still had that same hair. Yeah,
yes,
I remember
exactly.
that.
yeah, blonde Bronson.
yeah, blonde Bronson looking dude.
Yeah, and then Dustin Jacoby versus Khalil Roundtree.
That was one of the funnest fights for me. Seeing the card, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this because I remember seeing Khalil Roundtree for the first time, and he came out in a Muay Thai stance that was so dope. I was like, wow, and he got the W with that Muay Thai stance. I was like, man, this man looked like a thick ass Shevchenko, the way he was out there bouncing on the. Oh yeah, he out there.
That little leg going.
Yeah, he had the little bouncing going. I was like, oh man, I like this guy. I could rock with him because I went to school for Muay Thai. So when I see Muay Thai fighters that come out in the traditional stance, I'm like, oh man, like that's dope. Knowing because there's disadvantages to having that style, which is the takedown and stuff, right? You're so postured up, you're so like ready to counter strike, but the defenses to that is the takedowns, the shooting takedowns, because you wouldn't be able to sprawl properly if you're in that stance. But the way that man came out was just like, nah, bro, like we fighting, we kickboxing today. Yeah. He came out with the confidence. So ever since then, I've been a Khalil Roundtree, like ride or die type of fan. And
me too.
This fight right here was a scary one for him. And I feel like it could have gone either way because Khalil Roundtree came out vicious. He throwing 100% power. He throwing everything he got, right? And we all know Justin
to kill.
And we know Jacoby could take that, and he did. You know, and then so after the first round, I was like, like Khalil looking a little winded. Like I hope all that energy was worth it, you know, because you didn't get the job done. And that's kind of like the thing too about this sport is like. You have people that do that, like come out 100% power, like a Johnny Walker type-esque person who's trying to kill you in the shortest amount of time, right? Yeah. But if it doesn't work, it backfires. You get tired, and that's scary. Not being able to hold your hands up and defend yourself with another man looking at you, looking fresh.
Terrifying.
One of the scariest feelings you could feel, right? And that's what I felt like he was going to go into this fight with when the second round came around. I was like, this man looking... He looking a little winded. I hope it was worth it. Let's see if you could keep that up. And I mean, he did. Like, you know, that's when Dustin started picking it up. And I like Dustin. That man is pretty technical. Like he's in there. He reminds me of a like a Cowboy Cerrone type person because he's like in there. He like there ain't no quit in him. He's gonna come out and try to fight you no matter what.
Yeah. And this is his second round. This is his second time in the UFC. So he was here before. Got cut, then was here again. I think this is
he got cut?
Yeah, he got cut.
Oh, damn.
And then now he's come back and he's been doing really well. But, you know, when he was gone, he really got better at his kickboxing because he went over to Glory. I think he was a middleweight and light heavyweight Glory champion.
champion over there.
Yeah, so his kickboxing is legit.
Oh yeah, that's A1 kickboxing. I'm surprised Khalil didn't come out in that stand. Yeah. he came out like, nah, I ain't playing around this time.
And this, you know what? that I'm thinking about it, like that fight did not touch the floor. That was just straight.
No, it did it. It did it.
Dustin was jabbing Khalil Roundtree's face off. Just
he was.
He was jabbing.
He was taking advantage of that. He was taking advantage of the Tire Boy. But then he would jab and be a little overextended and then get countered, and it was like, it was one of those where you wouldn't want to look away. You didn't want to sneeze into your shoulder and that because you're going to miss something. I mess with that.
Dustin, he obviously had more volume, but when Khalil landed on Dustin, you could just see the difference. And even at the end of the fight, like, Dustin's face was all swollen, like he already had 2 black eyes, he was bleeding. And I was like, damn, like, you landed more shots on Khalil, but Khalil looked like he just finished a run. Like,
fine.
He did.
You know, I feel like it's kind of messed up. I don't know if I'm gonna get canceled for saying this, but I feel like when you black, you have an advantage because you don't wear the damage as much.
Yes,
because these white boys are the fair skin kind.
Yes.
You know, they be looking purple. You can see the swelling. You can
instantly
see the blood. You can see the cuts.
Yes.
You're like, damn, dude, this man look fucked up. But he's the one that won.
Exactly. It's very true. It's very true. Like, it just is what it is. Like, the fairer skin tones. Like, even if you look at Josh Frim right here, like, you hit him with a couple shots, you gonna see red. It's gonna be red instantly.
Red.
And
they could be block shots, but he's still gonna be red.
Yeah, all on the elbows, all on the side.
Yeah.
And shout out to Trayshawn Gore. I was so happy to see Trayshawn Gore get a win. This was his first win in UFC, his 3rd fight. And to get that submission. Did you see this guillotine?
Oh, was this the standing one?
Yes, he started.
Where he caught him and then like brought him to the side.
And
then
you could see all the vertebrae in his neck. Yeah, that boy went to sleep.
I can't believe he went to sleep because I know in his mind he'd been in that position 100 times and knew what it was. It was locked in. Ain't no getting out of that.
He woke up and was like, "Woo."
It's funny because I hear all these jiu-jitsu people talk about like, oh yeah, if you don't tap, you just take a nap and you just wake up confused, like it's no big deal. But the way we see them, the way they be slumped, it be looking brutal. I be like, oh my goodness, like what happened to this man? I hope he's okay, but they be fine, you know, because it's not like you took a head kick to the temple or something.
Right.
It's more. It is like you just took a little nap, neck a little sore when you wake up. And you're a little confused, but damn, the way that some of these people be getting choked out is like viciously. Yeah. And better it be a choke out than like an arm bar or something, cause you feel me?
Ain't trying to he trying to break no bones. This fight against Waldo Cortez Acosta and Jared Vandera, it was good, like it was cool. Jared was kicking his leg off. Jared was kicking Waldo's leg off. And Waldo, he was like mostly like just trying to like kickbox and just being silly, really. Like he was just in there like just playing around entirely too much. But this was the case where like I don't know if the judges necessarily looked at the damage of the leg kicks, because he started switching stances, he started falling, he was limping, like them leg kicks, he was chopping his leg down, but at the same time Jared was eating a lot of big shots. And then did you watch Max Griffin and Tim Means?
I did.
Max got it done. He looked good. He looked well-rounded in that fight.
I've been seeing Max. I've been watching Max, and yeah, he looks good. He kind of reminds me of Anders. You know who I'm talking about?
Eric Anders.
Eric Anders, yeah. He reminds me of him for some reason. Yeah. Not based off of the look, but based off of like the fighting styles. Like, yeah, I respect that. And Tim Means is no easy walk in the park. We all know who Tim Means is.
Yeah,
you know, so
exactly.
To do that, like you kind of made a statement with that one. You feel me?
Yeah, and he almost got Tim out in the first round. Like hit him with something, sat him down. I was like, oh shit. It's almost over. And then I felt really bad for Calvin Kattar. That boy can't catch a break. He had his whole family there, all his friends. They brought out like this Boston school, was all in the crowd. Like and for it to end like that with that injury.
I feel like that's the best case scenario for him, honestly, though, because Allen was sharp. He was on his P's and Q's, and I already knew what it was. Like, we talking about well-rounded fighters. Allen is a well-rounded fighter, so no matter where it went, like Calvin Kattar, he's good, and I kind of feel fucked up saying this because of, like, I respect what he does, but I feel like he's more of like an endurance fighter where. Almost like a Nate Diaz, where he could take the punishment and all of a sudden you're starting to slow down and get tired, and he's got a little bit more energy than you, so he's gonna start doing the output and stuff, and he's gonna look for those elbow counters and stuff. But
and he's a striker.
Yeah, he's a striker. But the way that Allen was throwing those like short hooks, and like, bro, he was looking so crispy with his hands,
really
and I was like, oh my goodness. And I saw that in his previous fights. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be a hard fight for Calvin Kattar. And Calvin Kattar has a lot more to lose than Arnold Allen in this fight. So it's kind of like all the odds are weighed against him in this fight by having this one. You feel me? So yeah, Allen, I like this man because he's looking crispy. Like, this man is looking like he knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it most effectively. You feel me?
Very dialed in. And then also, like, it's a tough spot because I think, like, even in his post-fight, he talked about, like, maybe his hand might be messed up again. So that's what's been keeping him out. He keeps, like, fracturing and breaking his hand. So if he can stay healthy, you know, because now he's on an 8-fight win streak with this. Maybe 9. I can't remember. I think it might be 9. Yeah, like, at featherweight, and I think, like, it's 8 in the UFC, and I think, like, 10 including, like, other fights. But, yeah, you know, he's doing really well. But it's like, if he can't stay healthy, then he'll end up getting passed up. I'm interested to see what they'll do at 145, especially because you have Volkanovski going up to 155 to fight. So,
he's at the top of the food chain now.
Yeah, so now they might do...
top.
You know, so now it's like either Arnold Allen, Yair, or Josh Emmett for an interim, potentially.
You know who I'd like to see Arnold Allen against? Next is I just brought him up, Ortega. Who's Ortega fighting?
He's out right now because remember he did something. He was in the Yair fight. His arm popped out, did that weird shit.
When was that, though? I feel like that was a while ago. Like,
that was July.
I feel like he should be... I feel like by the time Allen fights again, he should be all right. I feel like he should be clear to fight.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a good fight.
I would like to see that because I like to see how Allen looks against, like, a grappler type specialist before he gets in there with, like, the top dogs like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like Brian Ortega is pretty well rounded as well. Obviously, his like submission game, but he's been working on his stand up, and I've been looking impressed by Brian Ortega's stand up. He's got some boxing combinations down and stuff. I've been watching him. You know, I'm always thinking like, oh, he's gonna be like a Ronda Rousey type person where he's gonna, or like a Damian Maia where he's gonna look to grapple you at all costs. But nah, he's been standing and striking and hanging with some of the tough of them, some of the best of them. You know, so yeah, I like to see Arnold Allen against a tougher opponent. No disrespect to Kattar. I mean, he's at the top of the food chain, but I feel like some of these styles, like we see like Nate Diaz and them get to the top because they even. I don't want to say Justin Gaethje because of his last fights. He's been like, actually looking good too, but I feel like people get tired against these opponents, like the Calvin Kattars, like the Justin Gaethjes, and then that's when they start taking off on them. Yeah. You know, not to downplay their skill set or anything, but a person like Arnold Allen, where it's like I'm sharper than you, you know, and if I'm not getting you out in the first or the second, I still got the gas tank for the third, or I got other ways that I could get to you. Like I'm gonna shoot for your legs, so I'm a great wrestler, or like I got great jiu-jitsu. Like I want to see Allen test it like that. And if he passes that, then I would say okay, I want to see him at the top. But yeah, I feel like he has like one more test in him.
Yeah, I think so too. Like had he really got to establish himself in this Kattar fight, I'd have been like, all right, let's just go ahead and do it, him versus Volk. But I just don't know who can stop Volk at 145. I just don't know.
He's looking unstoppable.
Because Volk is mixing it up. I mean, he's good at mixing it up. Like, there's not one thing about Volk that you're like, oh yeah, he's really good at that. It's like, no, he's just well rounded. And
I feel like Volkanovski and Max Holloway are in the same position as like the middleweight division, which is Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker. like they are the two elite. They are the two elite in that division, and nobody else could really beat these men.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, even like, sorry, but like even like with Max, it's like you don't really know what to do with Max, because like whenever he does decide to come back, it's like I personally don't feel like he should go to 155. There's not favorable matchups there for him. Like,
it's not.
But at the same time, he can't stay at 145 as long as Volk is still the champion, because you end up in that situation, like you said, where like if Arnold Allen were to fight Max and Max picks him off, then who the fuck can Volkanovski fight? Because now this person. So it's like it's tricky. It's crazy.
Yep. I'm excited for these upcoming fights though. Yeah. We got Pereira versus Adesanya. Now that's the one I'm looking forward to.
Let's go.
And if everything plays out and Adesanya wins this fight, like, oh yeah, ain't no doubting him. Like, he's the GOAT now. He's one of the GOATs. You have to add him to the GOAT list of GOATs.
And you know what? If you think about it, like, who is Adesanya gonna fight after this? Like, nobody's talking about that. Like, there's nobody.
It's gonna be a Rob Whittaker number 3. I bet.
Yeah, if Whittaker gets past Costa, I mean, because he's the only one that's coming. Why is Robert Whittaker so good? He's another. He has everything. He mixes it all up so well.
Yeah. I feel like his weakness is just like a tall, lanky person, just like Israel. You know, it's just like. But you don't see that very often. It's such a rare commodity where it's like, wow, this man's really tall and really lanky. Like, who's as skilled as Adesanya? Like, you're not replicating that right now.
Yeah.
Even against, I feel like Robert Whittaker could beat Alex Pereira. Honestly.
I don't want Izzy to lose, but at the same time, if Izzy loses, it just like opens up middleweight. Like, all of a sudden, you can see. You know what I mean? Because he's beat everybody in the top 7. Like, Sean Strickland just is coming off a loss. Jack Hermanson, he's coming off that win, but that was against Chris Curtis, and like, do we really want to see that? Like, we know what happens there. Like, Darren Till can't get a win to save his life. Let's just be honest. Andre Munoz, he's like the dark horse of this division. He's slowly coming up. He's had some sneaky submissions recently. He's been looking good. Yeah. You got to check him out.
Where's Cannonier in this list?
Where does Kevin Lee fit into this?
No, Cannonier. Where's
I was just being funny. Because, everybody's like, where does Kevin Lee fit? Cannonier's number 2.
He sees holes in the games over here in the middleweight division. He's gonna pick them all apart.
Exactly. Cannonier's number 2.
Number 2. Okay. Who did he fight last? Was that Adesanya?
Yeah.
Okay, that was last. So who's gonna fight Cannonier? That's what I want to know. Cannonier is another little dark horse. People been sleeping on this man, but hey, he got all the way to Izzy, and like, obviously he lost to Izzy, but it wasn't like he got knocked out.
He's fighting Vettori.
Oh no, is he fighting Vettori? And then Rob Whittaker is fighting
Paulo Costa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it should probably be the other way around.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, Costa, Robert already beat Vettori. He already beat everybody. Yeah. He didn't beat Jared. He didn't beat Vettori. He beat
Robert
Brunson.
Embarrassed Vettori. Vittori can't accept a loss, but when he lost to Rob Whittaker, it was like, oh yeah, you gotta accept that one.
He outclassed him. He outclassed him.
He made you look like you didn't even belong to be fighting Israel.
Oh man, it's the roid rage. Like, he's always like me. It's like, chill out, dude.
I feel like Rob Whittaker is probably one of my favorite fighters. Like, he's up there on the list.
He's such a good guy too. Like, and he's
super
so talented.
Nice, super humble. Like, such a good guy, but a fucking vicious killer when he gets in there octagon.
Exactly.
That's
like
why
he
I
was
love him,
this
man.
close to like that Izzy fight was like the closest fight we've seen with Izzy in a long time. Like he just needed to do like them double jabs was working, but he was never following up and throwing the right. And so Izzy was just getting out like, oh yeah, I want to see that again.
He was doing the Rob Whittaker a little too much, which is that right hand to the right
with
kick.
With the high kick, yeah.
Yeah, and Izzy, like, come on,
Everybody
we all know
knows
you're
that's
throwing
coming.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not even fighting you, bro.
But why did Vettori keep getting hit with that? Vettori kept getting hit with the Rob. I was like,
you're right.
You didn't train for this?
Nah, you knew it was coming, Playboy. I don't know what you've been on.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. And then next week's card is just... I very rarely call a card weak or talk shit about a card, but this card,
Sheesh.
It was supposed to have Amanov versus Bryce Mitchell, but Amanov, I think he got hurt or something.
I like Bryce Mitchell. I want to see him fight. It's been a minute since I saw him fight.
He's going to be fighting on the December card here in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, so then they move Marina Rodriguez versus Amanda Lemos up. Which I think she's coming off a loss. Like, Jessica Andrade took her out with a standing triangle. It was the first in the UFC standing triangle. I'm not really excited about this fight. I'm not even.
That was the last fight. That was Jessica Andrade's last fight.
No, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was Jessica Andrade's last fight. Yeah, she took out Lemos right up against the cage. I
don't remember that.
Yeah. It was yeah.
Oh, it was a head and arm type triangle like choke?
Yeah, it was the first standing triangle. It was nasty too. It was tight.
Okay.
And then Neil Magny versus Daniel Rodriguez is like the top fight like on this card, as far as I'm concerned. D-Rod coming off of that win against the Leech. Yeah, like air quote. Because I was sitting there, like we were there for that fight, and I was watching it, and I was like, the whole arena was booing. Like we just could not believe that they gave it to D-Rod. I was like,
I can't believe it either.
At what point did he even have a moment in that fight? Like I don't ever remember watching that fight.
Yeah, I don't remember any moments from him. Yeah. I remember the Leech getting in there, sticking and moving. That man was looking quick.
He was.
And he was a lighter fighter, so we expected that, but he utilized that shit to his advantage 100%. And I feel like he wasn't even really getting hit hard. Like it was such a weird
happened.
decision.
It was very strange.
I felt bad for that man, because he went out there and did his shit and then didn't come with the dub, and he still was like being himself and everything. I was like, nah, bro, I would have been pissed off.
Oh yeah, definitely. Against Neil Magny, Neil Magny's just one of those guys that's just like, he just is steadily in the top 10, top 15, but he can't really get past that because he starts running into like the elite.
He's kind of stuck.
Yeah. He starts running into those elite.
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting. I don't. This one's a pick 'em, honestly. I feel like it could go either way.
Yeah.
Neil Magny's pretty good with his range. He's normally the taller, longer fighter with the reach advantage, so he uses that pretty well. I feel like he's been outpointing a lot of people recently. Am I wrong on that?
No, he has.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, he's still going to be a little bit taller. Oh, 6-inch reach.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this man's tall for the division.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to give it to him based off of Rodriguez's last fight. Like, I know Rodriguez has the power and stuff, but he looked a little gun-shy last fight.
Yeah.
Against somebody that he probably should have bullied, honestly.
Yeah, and like you were expecting to fight Kevin Holland, so you knew it was going to pretty much be striking. Like I expected you to go out there and outstrike the Leech, and that's not what was happening. The Leech was looking good. And when I watched the Leech fight D-Rod, I was like, yeah, I did not want to see Ferguson get pieced up like that.
Oh man, it would have been bad.
Yeah, and then like the rest of the card is just. I mean, look, y'all, it's 8. Like, when has there ever been 8?
Barely.
Barely.
Like, they're going to be like, I thought you was watching the fights. Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, like, this
is over already.
Yeah, like, I'm going to tell you, this is probably going to be one of the first fights in a long time that I just look at the highlight, like, that I look at the highlights. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look at the highlights and be like, all right, let me see what happened, and that'll determine whether or not, like, let me see if the internet is going crazy about a decision or something. That'll determine, because I'm absolutely not about to give this too much time. I'll for sure go back and watch the Neil Magny, Daniel Rodriguez fight. But
yeah, what
I'll
time
probably
is this
watch
one
it
on?
live.
4 p.m.
Yeah, 4 the main
4
card
p.m.?
comes on. Yeah. So this will probably be on like around like 5:30ish. Yeah, and I'll catch that fight. But then also real quick before we wrap it up, Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that.
How did you feel?
Man,
First of all, going into it, who did you think was gonna win? Because I thought that Jake was gonna win.
I thought that Jake was gonna win. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know how the odd makers have it. Me either. I don't know how the odd makers have it, but based off of his previous performances, like having KOs, TKOs, things like that, like, you know, the man has power to stop the fight whenever he wants, right?
Yeah.
But there's also the perception that this is boxing, and boxing has been shady and known to be shady in the past, you know?
Yeah.
So it that always lingers in my mind. That's like, you know, when Anderson Silva had him against the ropes and stuff, it kind of looked like he was taking it easy on him and stuff. You know, don't get me wrong, like, it could have just seemed like that to me in the moment because I want to see Jake Paul lose. Like, I want to see some of the MMA guys get some respect and stuff, especially legends like that. Like, I don't want to see him go out like that. But I don't know, man. The way that I've seen Anderson Silva fight before, like, it looks like he was kind of taking it light on this man or something. It just didn't seem right, you know. And I wanted him to win, but I don't disagree with the decision. I feel like Jake Paul won that fight, especially based off of the last round when he got that knockdown. But
yeah,
the thing is like how much can we trust that stuff? You know, this man actually has a lot of money, a lot more money than we probably think that he has. You know, and we all know that money makes the world go around. So, and we know the history of boxing. So that's always like in the back of my mind where it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like for me, I don't think that there was any foul play like that, but I think in general, just being an MMA fan, like we feel personally attacked by Jake Paul, so we're always just like wanting the demise of Jake Paul. It doesn't matter how it comes, like, and it sucks because like if you think about it, there's a reason why he's not fighting boxers because he ain't gonna make no money fighting boxers. Like that's the reality. You have to fight ex-UFC people because those are where the names are. Like the UFC is so big right now. The brand is so big that you can take a 47-year-old man that used to run the UFC, you know, and still, you know, people want to see it. When like if that was anybody else, nobody would want to see that, but it's Anderson Silva. You know what I mean?
Thing too though is that it's like I want to see you fight somebody, first of all, your size. You're a big motherfucker. Anderson Silva probably walks around like 190, you know, if he's not training and stuff. So he's probably walking around the weight that he weighed in. And we know Jake Paul is a big motherfucker who's cutting weight down to get to that guy's size, you know. And it's just those little things. And then the people that he were supposed to fight, like
Tommy Fury and Hasim Rahman.
Rahman, yeah, he was supposed to fight like that. That's a fight I would have tuned in, but it doesn't sell, right? Because Rahman doesn't really have that name. But I feel like Rahman would have gave the fight that we all wanted to see.
Yeah, I think
that we all expect Jake Paul to be in.
Yeah.
You know, but then all of a sudden, oh, that one fell through. Oh, you know, Tyson Fury's little brother fell through. Like, nah, bruh.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they don't want to fight you. Like, trust me, they want to fight you. And if you was a real fighter and you talking the way that you talking, you going to take these fights because you're the bigger, you know what I mean? Like, you got the leeway around here. So don't be trying to say, oh, no, he didn't make weight. Two weeks or whatever it was before he was even supposed to weigh in. It's like, bruh.
Yeah, that whole thing was real weird. It was fishy. I think they just didn't sell Madison Square Garden. It was going to be too expensive.
Exactly. That's how I feel.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think overall it's going to be interesting to see what Jake Paul does. It would be nice to see him fight a boxer because at the end of the day, like, we know that there is a clear difference between MMA boxing and traditional boxing. Because if you take the MMA fighter, which we've seen, goes into the boxing ring, they're not going to do as well. If you take a boxer into MMA, they're going to die.
They're gonna
They're
die.
gonna die.
They're gonna drown.
Like,
they're not even gonna have a shot. They're gonna look embarrassed, I feel like.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
And that's why you don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you see
Clarissa's the only
Shields
one.
going there.
Yeah.
And she, honestly, though, with the takedowns and stuff, she wasn't looking that great. But she did happen to get back up, and she got them missile launchers on her. So,
yeah. I mean, like, her first fight.
That was a good fight.
She won against a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
that's
the
what I'm
girl was
saying.
trying. Like, the second one, it was like a close fight, but the girl ended up taking her down, and she needs to work more on, like, you know, just getting up and not accepting the bottom. But I mean, this is all completely new to her. Like, she's just now starting to learn how to train, and it's like,
see, they're doing the right thing by putting her in there subtly. They're not giving her to the, you're a how many time champion? Oh, you going in with the sharks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like in boxing, that's how they're going to do you. Anderson Silva? Okay, let's get you in here with that grade A boxer. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, hold on, dog. Let me get my bearings right first. Like, this ain't even my sport. You feel me?
Exactly. Yeah, but
so they did good with that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But we are just going to go ahead and wrap it up. We will be back next week. We'll recap this card. And next week is going to be a banger. We're going to have some special guests come through. We'll be going over UFC 281, Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. I cannot wait. We cannot wait. Pure violence. And just real quick, because I forgot to do it, look at this fucking card. This card is ridiculous. You got Izzy versus Alex, Carla versus Weili, Dustin versus Chandler, Frankie versus Gutierrez, Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles, which I just did a feature on him, and he was in Latin America Tough, so he's actually really good.
Is he?
That's
you think he can hang with Dan Hooker, though?
I think so.
That's the hangman.
That's the hangman. It is. Moicano versus Riddell. Dominic Reyes coming back after that nasty elbow.
We still going.
Yeah, we still going against Ryan Spann. This is going to be a banger. We ain't seen Dominic Reyes since he got knocked out by Yuri Prohaska. You know, Aaron Blanchfield versus Molly McCann. Molly is finally back in the States after coming. Exactly. And then Andre Petrosky versus Wellington Truman, which is the only. I actually don't know him. I do know Andre because he was on Tough, but I don't know Wellington. And then we still going. We got Matt Favela versus Ottoman. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I don't feel like killing it. But this dude is actually a killer. Like, we've seen him fight on Fight Island before. And then they got Carolina.
What? They got
Koa-Cage was way down here in the early prelims.
Hey, I like her. I don't know what it is about her, but I really like her. She cool.
Yeah.
I'm rocking with her 100% of the time.
And this dude, Choi, is vicious as well. So, like, this card is stacked. We're excited to go over it next weekend. Make sure you check back in with us.
Oh, yeah. I'm watching all these fights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I advise everybody to watch all of these fights. This is going to be the one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is going to be is this the last pay-per-view of the year?
No, we still got December, which is looking nice. Patty to Batty coming to the U.S. Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be a time. We got some good fights coming up.
Hey,
so,
2022 ain't over yet. That's what they said.
Exactly. So make sure that you guys come check us out every Wednesday. And peace.